I'm going to be doing chapter 5, mostly because this is something that I've actually gone through, not in the workplace, but uh, I've had gone through this, the whole idea of being silent or speaking up. Um, I have this summary right here that I've written out. Basically, Jessica Shelby was selected to be a part of a small focus group to rebrand and design a new marketing strategy for the nonprofit organization that she worked at. Uh, she was excited, but there was too much pressure from the media, so people had quit and even went to work for the competition. Um, in 2 years, they had three boss exchanges, and there was a vice president named Joanna Gilbert, and she emerged and at first displayed energy and enthusiasm. The department received a much needed energy boost. The rebranding group decided on creating a strategy and create steps to make the campaign a success. In order to do so, they decided on creating a series of focus groups to test communication messages in the form of taglines. Gilbert surprised everyone by expressing her own ideas and encouraging them to be implemented, but everyone was too afraid to deny her idea, so they considered it. But Shelby was uncomfortable with how Gilbert made a decision without consulting the group, and although it was a clever tagline, it still needed work and didn't fit with the rebranding. She didn't support it, but still went along with it because she was afraid to be fired. But later, the group hired a research firm in Chicago and learned their work did not do as well as they wanted, and Shelby learned the group had not chose their boss's tagline as the best, nor did they completely dismiss it. But later, Shelby overheard her boss on a call, basically forcing the other two groups to use her idea. Shelby became upset and was torn between confronting her or staying silent. As time went on, Gilbert never distributed the results or consulted with the group. She proceeded as if her tagline was the best and no one questioned her, but was skeptical as to why she didn't follow procedure. Uh, Shelby was upset and felt she couldn't trust anyone. She started to dread coming to work and felt betrayed. None of her colleagues were questioning Gilbert's action, but above all, she felt Gilbert wasted money that donors who believed in them and the cause had given them, and she simply was unprofessional. They continued with Gilbert's ideas, and Shelby simply lost interest and started to do minimal work. A coworker who trained Shelby finally asked what's wrong, and Shelby told her what she heard from Gilbert that day. But this coworker was not surprised. She acted as if it was normal, and then Shelby just lost all hope, but knew she couldn't leave her job due to how well it pays. But later, when the organization was forced to downsize as a direct result of what happened, she knew her job was in jeopardy. Uh, so when a new organization gave her an opportunity for a position, she took the chance without hesitation. Um, with this, there was honestly a number of problems. Basically, what I took away from this was that, you know, it's okay to step up and say something because at the end of what happened, after she's been working at her new job, she kind of like came to a realization that it wasn't just her and her morale that was in jeopardy. It was, the consultant that Shelby, not Shelby, I'm sorry, that Gilbert was basically yelling at to do what she wanted to do, because now this organization that was supposed to be positive, everyone is affected and has to go about all of this in a negative way. And especially at the end when people got fired as a direct result because of one person being egotistical. So in my opinion, there was different ways that she could go about it, but there's also different problems that could have happened with her simply speaking up. For example, if she went to the boss, there's a possibility that he would ask for evidence. She didn't have evidence; she only had what she heard. Uh, but the only evidence that she could have, played along with was the fact that none of her coworkers, including herself, was given the results of what happened from the two other focus groups, right? So because she did not trust her coworkers anymore because they valued their job over their morale, um, over being ethical. Um, she was kind of at a loss because she knew if she didn't choose the right people, they could have just simply said nothing, just simply out of being afraid. And I honestly believe that that's okay, to be afraid. And there's also like the other way that I was thinking that she could have gone about it was, what if she told a group of people, and they all kind of went together and kind of like, protested against the vice president and the things that she was doing. um but now it's the same thing. She didn't trust them, so they could be saying one way to her, like, yeah, you're right, blah blah, but when it was time to, you know get up and take action, there's a possibility that they wouldn't do it simply because they chose to be silent, um when all of this was happening. So those are the different things that I believe that she could have done. But honestly, what I would have done is what I would have spoken up anyway. Because what I've noticed was when people left, they still found another job with even though it was with competition, they still found a job. And that was the most important thing that I noticed throughout. Like, people were afraid of losing their job, which is understandable, but they still got another job thereafter. Even when, people just simply just got up and left, or they were fired as a direct result of Gilbert. So now, excuse me, if I stood up and I said something, I know that I'm getting another job simply because everyone else that left or was fired, they got another job. So that was my number one thing from it, and how I learned to be more ethical, was to just, you know, I learned that it was basically okay to speak up no matter the cause, like, or the situation that you're in. Thank you. Because at the end of the day, if you don't speak up, then everything will be in jeopardy. Like, everything that you worked so hard for or believed in would just now be in jeopardy. And I'd rather sacrifice myself than uh have the entire organization that we just worked so hard for be in jeopardy in general. So that was this chapter 5, and everything that I've learned from it. Thank you.